Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are making a Bluey cake. To begin, I have printed out a photo of the Bluey that I want to recreate with fondant. I have printed out the Bluey to the exact size that I want, as I want to use these for a template. Once happy with the size, I'm using tape to cover the Bluey picture, as you can see in the footage. I tape the back and the front of the picture so that it acts as a laminate for the template, making it easier and stronger to cut out. Once all taped out, I'm then going to cut around the Bluey. I haven't included footage of me making the name and number of this cake. Reason being is that I use the same technique in my Star Wars cake. If you follow the same principle, you can do it with any font. Now the Bluey template is cut out. I cut out the exact same shape of Bluey in a light blue fondant colour. This is my base to work with. I let this dry overnight before filming to ensure it would set hard. I'm going to start with the dark blue parts of Bluey's face and cut them out from the template, including Bluey's eyes. I've also cut out Bluey's mouth and also her body. Rolling out the dark blue fondant to a thickness of maybe 1 to 2 millimeters, I then lay the template on top and using my scalpel cut around the template. I then moved on to rolling out the light blue fondant for Bluey's body, same thickness as the dark blue fondant, and cut around the template. Once the body was cut out, I'm going to take the dried light blue fondant Bluey cut out and I'm going to stick the dark blue patches and the light blue fondant on top. We're kind of putting together a jigsaw that you'll see in a second. Leave the templates attached to the fondant at this stage. Once those are stuck in place, I take a pale ivory colour to cut out the mouth and nose area of Bluey. Once cut out, I use a bit of water to stick that in place. As you can see, it's starting to fit together like a puzzle. I then remove the template from the fondant. I then cut off the light blue fondant part of the tail, which should be dark, and then stick dark blue fondant in its place. Using black fondant, I roll and cut out Bluey's nose. Now taking a sculpting tool, I lightly mark the end of Bluey's tail. Now we are going to make the ice cream cone. Taking the same colour fondant that I used for the face, I'm now going to cut out a triangle. Then grabbing the body template back, I'm going to cut out Bluey's hand where she'll be holding the ice cream, moving the light blue fondant and replacing it with the triangle that you just cut out. I cut out and then pressed Bluey's hand on top to make it look like she was holding the ice cream cone. Now working on Bluey's ears and eyebrows next. Cut out the eyebrows from the template as you can see in the footage. I'm now scoring the part of Bluey's ears that have the same colour fondant as her snout. Once those parts of the ears are cut out, I then replace them with the ivory fondant. Then cut out the eyebrows using the same colour fondant as I did for Bluey's body. Placing the template back over the dark blue patches to ensure correct placement of the eyebrows, I attach them with a bit of water. Now cutting out the ice cream to sit on top of the cone. I have chosen pink fondant for this. Same as I did before with the cone, just tracing around the template to cut it out. I'm going to attach this with a little bit of water. Now Bluey's eyes, using white fondant, I'm going to lay the template on top and cut them out. cut out, I lay the ear templates back on Bluey to help ensure that I have the correct placement for her eyes. I also then attach the nose with water at the same time. I managed not to record the footage of Bluey's mouth being made, but the same technique I used to create her so far. I rolled out the black fondant super thin and traced around her mouth. I then rolled out white for the teeth and red for the tongue and attached them to the black fondant. I'm now attaching that to Bluey's face so it looks like she's licking the ice cream. Now taking my sculpting tool, I'm going to mark lines on Bluey's body to add definition to Bluey's arms and belly. Just laid the template over the top and I'm drawing those lines so that it leaves a slight impression on the fondant, and then I'll make them more defined with the sculpting tool after. Once I was happy with the lines on Bluey's body, I take an edible black marker and start to outline Bluey's white eyes. I then use the template again to place over the top of the eye so that I get the right placement and correct size for the pupil. Then colour in the pupils and also Bluey's nose. I'm now going in with edible paint to colour in Bluey's arm and belly using a light blue colour. Once I was happy with how the light blue paint was looking, I take dark blue edible paint to start painting the outline of Bluey, including outlining her eyebrows and patches of dark blue fondant. I then start to paint the creases that I've made with the sculpting tool to enhance the definition between her arms and belly. Using light brown edible paint, I'm making a grid on the ice cream cone to make it look like a waffle cone. I then use a dark pink edible paint to outline the ice cream and then mark sprinkles in that colour and also an edible white paint. My Bluey is now complete. I'm going to allow that to dry overnight on a flat surface. As you can see in the footage, I have the name and the number, and I've also made 2 little donuts which need to dry. I made the donuts cutting out 2 circles using a cookie cutter and cut out the middle with a piping tip. I used pink and brown fondant to cut out the icing and then painted on the coloured sprinkles using edible paint. Now to mask and decorate this cake. Today I'm using a 6-inch round mud cake. If you want the recipe and to see how I cut and fill my cakes, I'll add the link in the description box below. Today I'm using American buttercream coloured pink. When icing my cakes, I always add a lot of buttercream to the top of the cake. I then smooth out the top and then drag the rest of the icing down the sides. Once I'm happy with the application, I take my cake scraper to smooth out the sides and remove any excess buttercream. Once I was happy with how the cake was looking, I then used my palette knife to take off the top edge. I then placed this in the fridge to firm up for about 20 minutes. While I did that, I used melted white chocolate to attach cocktail sticks to the back of the fondant name and the donut so I could stick them in the top of the cake. I used some buttercream to stick Bluey to the front of the cake. I then pressed the name into the top of the cake and then also stuck the donuts next to the name. Piped a large blob of buttercream next to Bluey for the number 4. That's it guys, that's how I made this Bluey cake. If you liked this video and want to see more tutorials all things baking and cake decorating, please like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any videos. I upload every Wednesday. See you next time!